Hello everyone, a different kind of video here for you. So the video we're going to watch shows footage of a Russian attack getting repelled in the Kreminna region. We're looking at the area here shown on this map. Now, what's interesting is Ukraine also recovered the camera from the tank destroyed, so we get some nice footage of a first person view from inside the tank as it's destroyed, and drone footage of the skirmish as well. So, you can see early on that this tank is advancing with an MTLB loaded with troops. This is in Kreminna, this first bit of the video, and it's advancing towards the west. The MTLB is in front, the tank following shortly after. Only these two vehicles are seen in this little raid in the drone footage. The video footage is sped up as the tank heads along a road to the area of operation, and then there's a little cut in the video cutting out part of the journey, but I'll come to that later on. When the video cuts to see the MTLB, we can see it get engaged from very close range with what I assume is an RPG round. The RPG misses. There's then a very big blast, which I think is an artillery strike, probably a Ukrainian one, trying to target the MTLB, and the troops on the MTLB are then seen dismounting. After the troops have dismounted from the MTLB, that vehicle is then seen pulling back to safety, and the tank arrives, charging valiantly into battle. It pretty much immediately takes a shot right on the kisser. I think this is likely another RPG round, but we don't know for sure because we don't actually see what hit it. But we do see a follow-up strike occur from near the trees whilst the tank is smoking. This one is an RPG round, so I do think it very likely this tank was taken out by an RPG team here. We then see another hit on the tank, again hitting it at the front, and our last shot is of one of the crew of the tank scrambling out of the hatch. It's very interesting footage, and it's quite rare to see an engagement like this from a tank operator's point of view. And also interesting, we get the Ukrainian drone observing it as well. Now, before we check the location, I have a few screenshots to go through for you. First, here, you can see the MTLB getting targeted. Bottom right, the flash from the RPG firing, and the MTLB is highlighted in red, made simple here for people from Grimsby who might be watching. This screenshot, you could just see the RPG round whistling over the top of the MTLB. So a near miss, and a near catastrophic one for Russia, as we saw this MTLB was loaded up with troops, all of whom were sitting on the top. Here, once more, we can see a close-range RPG engagement, but RPG firing is highlighted. This is after the tank has already been disabled. This round missed, as we can see it here. The tank's cope cage is seen in red, but RPG round is in blue, going over it. Ukraine also had mortar support in this battle. In this screenshot, highlighted is a mortar round strike. This isn't the Ukrainian RPG team's position. In this video, we saw at least one Russian soldier enter this trench or ditch here, which was then targeted with mortars. So good work here, both by the drone operator who spotted the troops entering this trench, and then the mortar one for putting some very accurate fire on this position. And it had to be accurate fire, as the Ukrainian positions with the RPG team is very, very close to this trench. Final screenshot. Here is the final round hitting the tank just before it got abandoned. So multiple RPG rounds were fired here. One at the MTLB that missed, one that hit the tank, one that went over the tank and missed, and another one, a final one, that hit the tank. So now we've gone through that, let's have a look at the geolocation and see where exactly this took place. Firstly, here is the geolocation of where the crew boarded the tank. This is in Kreminna itself. Now there is a cut in the video, so we don't see the tank's entire journey, but we know where it ended, so we can fill the gaps. So here it is shown here, start and finish. Now we can all see the road it travelled on, so I don't think there's any reason to highlight it. And those from Grimsby who may have needed it highlighting have likely already closed the video after my first dig at them. So you can see the tank of the MTLB headed from east to west from Kreminna, heading through Dibrova and engaging Ukrainian positions in the forest to the west of Dibrova. Let's zoom in on where this skirmish took place. So, the blue box shows the rough location of the Ukrainian RPG team. Now, The terrain has changed quite a bit throughout the war, with many trees gone. To avoid the map getting too cluttered with arrows, I've just put the tanks route here. So it headed as seen, eventually being hit by Ukrainian RPGs and abandoned. The MTLB followed pretty much the same route but did end up pulling back and presumably making it out. So this was a very successful Ukrainian defence. We know that because Ukraine actually managed to reach a tank and obtain this camera from it. I don't know if this tank was actually fully recovered as well. Now, there is a bit of a video which I cut at the end, drone footage of the aftermath, and basically, most of the Russians on the MTLB didn't make it back. So, on deep states, you can see this was a frontline skirmish, taking place in a rough area of the box. This area we saw was defended with RPG teams, artillery, and mortar, and likely more troops and RPGs elsewhere. I expect the reason we saw only one artillery round hitting the video is because this is just too close to the Ukrainian positions, and it may have accidentally hit the Ukrainian RPG teams. As for Russia's intentions here, it was a decent sized force, so likely an attempt to clear these Ukrainian positions and gain control over this area of forest. Needless to say, it failed. And zoomed out again, here you can see that it's in the north of the country on the eastern front. This is on the Kreminna axis. There's been an ongoing Russian offensive in this region for a while now, but it's one which hasn't made much progress. Whilst it was large scale early on, it seems to have stabilised in recent months, and we now typically see various probes and small scale attacks such as this, rather than the large scale mass attacks as we saw near Krasnoyarivka near Avdiivka late last year. So that's it for this video. I hope you found it interesting. Now, before we finish, I'm going to play two videos from NAFO about the ongoing fundraiser with them. It features Sukhamima's channel patches and is just over the 50% mark to completion. Big thanks to everybody who's donated so far. I appreciate it a lot. The donation links are in the description of this video. Thanks very much and take care everybody.
Greetings! We are Special Drone Squad of 66th Brigade of Ukrainian Armed Forces. We need a pickup truck for evacuation our wounded soldiers and aero scouting. We're asking NAFO community and charity fund of 69 Sniffing Brigade to help us. Glory to Ukraine!
Glory to heroes!
Good time of the day, dear friends. We are the military of the 110th Separate Battalion of Territorial Defense of Luhansk region. Currently, it is occupied by aggressor. In a few days, we are heading to liberate our lands towards the Kupiansk direction, where fierce battles are taking place. We are soliciting support from the NAFO and 69th Sniffing Brigade Charitable Foundation. Please help us. We need passable pickup trucks for mobile combat groups of the air forces, specifically for drone operators to adjust fire on the enemy. We are grateful for your help. Glory to Ukraine. Slava Ukraini!
Героям слава!